Welcome to the Choose to Change 90-Day Reentry Program. If you're a visitor or new to this program, we welcome you and are glad you are here. Many of us walked into these rooms not knowing what to expect, but many of us stayed because we saw real people with real problems who had real hope. This 90-Day Reentry Program is a self-supporting group sponsored by the Choose to Change Foundation. There are no dues or fees to attend a class, but we do encourage donations from our members and anyone who believes in what we are doing. The only requirement for membership is a sincere desire to change. So if you're ready to change your life, then you are in the right place. Through this program, you will learn the tools and resources to finally change your life forever, and a relationship-based support system to keep you going. For many of us, there is no easy way out of the mess we created in our lives, even if it wasn't your fault. But the good news is that there is a way out if you would choose to believe in the impossible. Welcome, everyone. My name is Frank Salazar, and I've been a member of the Choose to Change Foundation June 2015, June 11, 2015. That's when I first walked into these walls. And today I was actually looking at some old photos from 2012, where I had my oldest son, and he was just a little thing. And I had my middle son, or my second son, and I'm carrying him. And today they're almost half my size. My oldest is just a few inches taller, or smaller than me. And man, it's been a long road, and we're still not done. We're barely breaking through, but that's why we come to these classes. Now, without further ado, we're going to be hearing from our CEO and mentor, Orlando Salinas. All right. Please join me in welcoming Orlando to the podium.
Thank you, Frank. Appreciate it. All right, welcome, guys. It's we live in a challenging world. Let me see if I can write this. I was thinking about what it really takes. There's so much to learn, right, about life and moving forward in life and learning and growing and going through the growing pains of change. Um, Everybody goes through them. But I think a lot about you guys. I think a lot about you guys and about all of us. You know, even in my business. In my business, we're slow. We're slow in my business, and I'm in the construction business, and it's slow, really slow. Like wow, it's never been this slow for me. But I'm realizing that there are a lot of people that are slow. Their job is slow. The construction business and painters and cabinet people and just different areas of life is slow. And I was thinking about this because the things that I'm doing, while things are slow, when I go through this, I know we're gonna see it through. And then I think about it. I think about all the things that you guys go through, and so many other people that I think about. And I'm always thinking about what can I help? Because we just come here and just learn something, a little nugget, so that we can move forward. Just a little nugget. But in order for you to keep growing and building, you have to be consistent. Consistency. And I want to talk about that tonight, about the consistency. That's because a lot of people have struggled with this consistency. And I was thinking about that. I was thinking about you and Chavarria and you, Michael, because in order to break through, you're going to have to be consistent. You're going to have to. And what I mean by that is being consistent in the right things, right? Through your failures, through your mistakes, through whatever, you have to be consistent. Chavarria just cumplió un año en el trabajo. Yeah. Who would have think? Chavarria. Employee of the month y cuánto. Chavarria. But he's been consistent. He's been consistent. Even when he didn't have nothing, when he didn't have nothing. No friends, no nobody. He was consistent. And that's what we have to be. So I want to talk about that tonight. There's a scripture in the Bible where in Luke 4:16, and there's several examples of this about Jesus being consistent, disciples being consistent, different people being consistent. In Daniel, well, let me read it. Luke 4:16 dice, so he came to Nazareth, they're talking about Jesus, where he had been brought up. And as was his custom. In other words, it was something he always did. As was his custom, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day and stood and read. In other words, he went to church. He went in always doing what he knew he needed to do. And that's all I really want to talk about tonight. Is that because if you're not consistent in your walk with Christ, in your life change journey, in your job seeking journey, in your any area in life that you are right now, wherever you are in life, you know that what you need to do, you know what you need to do. A lot of people know what to do. They just don't do it because it's too hard, because of this, because of that. And so I want to talk about that tonight. I was a couple of years ago, I was going through a series by John Maxwell. John Maxwell is he teaches on leadership. He has some powerful books on leadership. And leadership, us as men, we are leaders. You need to be a leader everywhere you go, the best that you can. In our marriage, in our family, we need to learn to lead. And John Maxwell talks a lot about leadership in business, in life, and in ministry. And he had this book called The 15 Laws of Personal Growth. The 15 Laws of Personal Growth. And he talks about these laws, laws of intentionality, laws of awareness, law of the mirror, looking at yourself in the mirror. And then this one called the law of consistency is what I want to go over today. The law of consistency. So consistency, we all know what that means, ¿verdad? You're doing just be doing it, making it happen. Paul the Apostle put it like this. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be steadfast. Be steadfast. I like this. Unmovable. Always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. And that's a principle. It's a principle. We have to be steadfast. Steadfast in our prayers, steadfast in what we're doing. The law of consistency says that motivation will get you going, right? But consistency will keep you going. You have to keep going. So we need to really. So let's talk about this a little bit. Without consistency, without positive, consistent action, we will not get too far in life. A lot of people quit, right? We've seen a lot of people quit, brother. A lot of people quit because, again, it's not easy. The path to success in any area of life involves consistency. You have to. You have to. And I know you, Craig, you're going through a lot of things in your family right now, and you understand this concept. And I've seen you. You're fighting and you're going through it. But you have to be consistent in your message, in your to your kids, to your son. He has to, and then I'm really proud of you for that, because that's what we have to do. We have to set an example for our families. People are watching us, because the path to success is consistency. But keep in mind that the path to failure is consistency too. That's why we kept on failing, because we were consistently doing the wrong thing. ¿Verdad? So many people fail in life because they simply are not consistent in the right areas in life. They may be consistent, but in the wrong areas. So, what's your story? What's your story? What do you want your story to be? You will not build anything good in life without a positive, consistent action. So let's look at a few values of consistency. Of, like, we're coming to Choose a Change. Very few people come. Few people watch us. And this is why I was really thinking about this, because of you, brother. Because you've been here for over a year. ¿Verdad? And I've seen people with less problems than yours, with less issues, and they've given up. But yet, I've seen you fight through your issues, fight through your circumstances. And I this is why I really, I hope you don't mind I say this, but I really was thinking about you when I was put this together, because you've been consistent, brother, and that's what it's going to take. That's it. That's it. It doesn't matter that you failed or that you messed up. What matters is that you keep on going. That's all that matters. ¿Verdad? Because, so many people just give up. They just give up. And the more I think about it, it's I see, I've been preaching for the last 2 weeks. So many churches, so many heartache, so much pain, so many problems that people have. They give up in life. They just give up. And it's tough. Life is tough. I understand that. Brother, when you see a poor lady, man, with 2 kids, 2, 3 kids, the husband's a drug addict and in prison, and she's suffering, man, what do I tell her? And they have to just keep fighting. You have to keep believing for something greater in their lives. We have to keep consistently believing God. We have to fight. Consistency establishes reputation. Consistency establishes reputation. And we have to look at what we're consistent at. Whether it's good or bad. What are you known for? Let's think about that. I don't want to think about it. What are you consistently good at? And so if you look at that, then you got to think about it. If there's negative things, then we have to think about it. Man, I always do this, and man, siempre la riego aquí, or whatever it is in your life. I'm sure there's some things we have to adjust in our life, change, that would help us, that would help our relationships, that would help our marriages, that would help our relationship with our family, with our kids, with your job. So think about, what are you consistent at that you shouldn't be? If I asked somebody in your family or friends, I was reading this, I said, oh man, no le preguntes. Your wife. No le preguntes a mi wife. What would they say? What is he consistent at? You see what I mean? So we need to think about these things as we evaluate ourselves. Because really, this is what we're here to do, to look at ourselves. Because we can see the problems in everybody else, right? We're good at that. It is not hard to do. Le sacamos a alguien más, pero we need to look at ourselves. So consistency establishes reputation. Another thing it does is establish excellence, and becoming great at something requires consistency. In other words, that's how you're going to get better. You're going to get better. You're going to get better. You're going to start a new job. Then you have to learn to whatever it is that you're going to learn, and then you have to get good at it, but you're going to have to be consistently doing it and doing it right. I bet you're a pro at what you do, Chavarria. You are. I know you are. I see you work everywhere. You just have a way of doing things. You're consistent, which establishes your reputation. Consistency is the only way to get good at anything, whether it's good or bad. So be careful with that one. I learned this. I picked this up in prison, brother. Because you got to think about this for a minute, because I see a lot of people. You're going to say, when I got out of prison, brother, I was able to just get out and I hit the ground running. It was like if I wasn't even locked up, because for all those years I was locked up, brother, in my mind, I wasn't locked up. I was planning. I was doing this. It's like all they did was como que estaban I felt like I was like at the gate, like a horses when they're going to race. That's how when I look back, I see that's how I was. Nomás estaba listo, nomás suéltame. You know, y nomás they opened the doors for me. Boom, I just took off. Because in my mind, I was already out there. I was already making it happen. I was already doing it. Because I've learned this principle of being consistent and reading and learning. And brother, the name of my business that I have today, I came up with it in prison. I had about 10 names because I was learning. Y me ponía a escribir y a leer and do notes. I had these books of notes and I had these 10 names of CQR Kitchen and Bath or custom remodeling, and I had all these names. And I had a design for the logo y todo. I just needed to just let me go. And I just made it when it happened. And so when you're consistent at something, you know, or you can be consistently working at something, so that when you get to that point in your life, you're just used to doing it. ¿Verdad? Being consistent. Because I knew that I was going to walk out of prison at 40 years old. And I knew that if I was going to make it in life, I was going to have to be consistent. Y yo también la regué, brother. Fell on my face. I mean, it wasn't easy. It was not easy. But I get up and go. I kept on doing that. Being consistent gives people security. Being consistent gives people security. They can depend on you. People can depend. I want people to depend on me. And maybe I'm not perfect, but if you could, you know, you guys come, you know that there's going to be a choose a change. I learned that I need to be consistent. 10 years, brother, 10 years and still going. And all that matters to me is the few that have made it, because that's what we're here for. That's it. Just to help those. If I wasn't here, Chavarria wouldn't be here. And Greg wouldn't be here. You guys wouldn't be here. Oscar Cruz wouldn't be here. Danny Martinez wouldn't be here. Andrew Zapata wouldn't be here. I mean, you see what I'm saying? And because I learned this principle, I said, if I'm gonna make it, if I'm gonna be able to encourage or inspire or influence anybody, I was gonna have to be consistent myself. That's how it worked, guys. Consistency reinforces your visions for your future. Shows people that you're serious. You're serious about your life. And you have that, Michael, you have that in you. You don't know, I got to do this. I have to do this. Not that you're perfect, right? But you know that there's some things that you got to do if you're going to make it. And I tell you this because I want you to know that I see that. Long-term consistency will always trump short-term intensity. Y'all understand that one? Let me repeat it. Long-term consistency will always trump or outdo short-term intensity. Like people that, in other words, los que comienzan recio. And they have a lot of, they get up and they're going to go do it like for a week. And then they simmer down and they quit. Consistency will always outdo intensity. And here's the fifth thing that he says that consistency does. Consistency compounds, brother. In other palabras, we keep on doing the right thing. It's the simple law of sowing and reaping. Yeah, you reap what? You reap what you consistently sow. Because you are what you are today, brother, because of what you did 12 months ago. What you've been doing 12 months ago. Can you see that? And if you can look back at your life ahorita, brother, the mistakes you've made, the things you do, then you build on that. And you say, you know what? I'm not going to do that no more. And you start, because our life is built on these consistent actions on a daily basis. So anybody have anything to say here about consistency? Where have you fallen short? Where have you, I want to read you something. Anybody want to share anything? You're gonna. It's not easy to be consistent. It takes some discipline on our part. And I'm always trying to get better, and I fail a lot. Like I want to get up at a certain time, and I don't. But I still work on it. I wanted to close with the it's a letter. It's not really a letter. I want to read this to you guys because when it comes to your job, to your marriage, to relationships, at the job, at school, at church, no matter what, being consistently doing what you know is right consistently will be hard because you might get mad at someone. Somebody offends you. Especially when somebody offends you. Let's use that one. Because it's hard to do the right thing when somebody gets you mad. Right? So then, but if you're going to make it, brother, in life, if you're going to break through into a better future, you're going to have to break through a lot of your character defects, anger problems, not being consistent, not being responsible, laziness, whatever it is. And I think This, what I'm about to read to you, is called taking the high road to success. Taking the high road to success. In other words, you can take the low road and still be successful, but there's something about taking the high road. In other words, being the better man. Doing what's right even when it doesn't feel like. Forgiving even when they don't deserve it. So listen to this. And we'll close with this. They say, in life, you will find people that treat you badly. That is an unavoidable fact. You have three options when you are treated in this manner. You can take, number one, the low road, where you treat people worse than they treated you. Or number two, you can take the middle road, where you treat people the same as they treated you. Or you can take the high road, where you treat people better than they treat you. They say, as a leader, you must commit to taking the high road when others intentionally or unintentionally do you wrong. We all mess up. We all have annoying quirks. And there are some times when we're not pleasant to be around. When you recognize your humanness and you know you need and have received grace, you are more open to taking the high road and extending grace to others. No one takes the high road by accident. You have to do it. We have to intentionally do it. They say you must consciously choose that path. The high road is not the easiest road. It goes uphill and takes more effort to travel. But it is the only road that leads to the highest levels of living and leading. These are fine encouragement in the words of Kevin M. Keith, who wrote The Paradox Commandment. They will help you to choose the high road in your leadership. The paradoxical, that's what it says, commandments. Listen to these commandments. A ver qué tal. A ver si nos va bien con estos. Listen. People are illogical, unreasonable, and self-centered. Love them anyway. If you do good, people will accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. In other words, you do, like at work. Oh, you're just trying to suck up to. He said, if you do good, people will accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Do good anyway. I want to live like this. So I'm presenting it to you. This is how I strive to live. If you are successful, you will win false friends and true enemies. Go succeed anyway. The good you do today will be forgotten tomorrow. Go do good anyway. Honesty and frankness make you vulnerable. Be honest and frank anyway. The biggest man or women with the biggest ideas can be shut down by the smallest men and women with the smallest minds. You think big anyway. People favor underdogs, but follow only top dogs. Fight for a few underdogs anyway. That's why I'm here for you, brother. What you spend years building may be destroyed overnight. Build it anyway. People really need help, but may attack you if you do help them. Go help them anyway. Give the world the best you have, and you'll get kicked in the teeth. Give the world the best you have anyway, brother. Leaders don't take the high road because it's the only available option, but because it's the best option. High rollers or high roaders aren't victims. I'm a victim. I'm not a victim. They're victors. I want to be victorious. The author of Proverbs stated, "The discretion of a man makes him slow to anger, and his glory is to overlook the transgression." Overlook it. Proverbs 19:11. When you respond to ill treatment with grace and forgiveness, you display an admirable character that elevates you in the eyes of others and allows you to experience the high road principle. You go to a higher level when you treat others better than they treat you. That's the high road in life. So I hope you take the high road to life. Let's pass around the donation bucket, Chavaria. So something to consider, taking the high road. And I learned this a long time ago, brother. Long time ago. And the reason I learned it, brother, is because I knew when I walked out of prison that I was going to be an ex-convict, on parole, on the monitor, that nobody was going to give me handouts. Nobody was going to care that what I went through. That nobody was going to care that anything about my problems. I understood that everybody else has problems. And that I was going to have to fight no matter what. That's why I learned this in prison. I knew that I couldn't expect people to just feel sorry for me and give me. And I believed that I was just going to have to go do the right thing simply because it was the right thing. And that's what I did. And I can tell you that it's brought me this far. And I'm going to keep trying to live using the high road principle. ¿Cómo la ves, Chavaria? Should we continue in the high road? Es todo. All right, guys. We just need to be consistent at it. Craig, Craig, going to share something.
Thanks, brother. Just wanted to make reference to a little analogy I learned years ago. This is when I was in college. I had a professor, and I tell my sons this, I tell friends, family, anybody who will listen to it. It's been one of the most profound things I've ever heard in my life, and I try to live my life by it. We were talking about just life, love, failure, pursuits of, goals, dreams, and everything. This professor told us one day, he says, I want you guys to remember something. Everybody's life is important. He says, when you walk through the office, that little lady at the front desk that you don't think anything of, she's a gatekeeper. She knows that employer. She knows when you go to the grocery store, that kid who's been bagging your groceries, he's been bagging groceries all day. So realize everybody has value. And he says, when it comes to goals and dreams and accomplishing things, he said, never accept a no from someone's not in a position to give you a yes to begin with, you keep on pushing. And that's just always stood with me. I tell my boys that never accept a no from somebody's not in a position to give you a yes to begin with. If not, hey, keep it moving, bro. Keep pushing. Get what God's got for you. Don't settle for anything less until the Lord shuts the doors on whatever it is you're pursuing.
Yeah. And you said right there at the end something key. As Christians, we should take the high road. As Christians, we should take the high road. Because the Bible teaches us that the Lord is the one who lifts us up. And I believe that. I've seen it too many times. It's God that lifts us up. You know, and I use this because I knew Zapata's here. And I know your brother. I saw God lift him up. Zapata without education, fearful, not knowing anything, not knowing if he could actually make it, not believing in himself. He just humbled himself before the mighty God. And he said, I'm going to trust God. And I saw God because he was consistent. He was consistent. He didn't waver, brother. And that's why today he has a beautiful family, great job, and he's pastoring. It's powerful stuff, man. Because I saw God lift him up just because he took the high road. So, thank you for watching. That's all I have tonight. Thank you.